Hi, and thank you for tuning in to Noir Histoire. I'm Natasha, and this is the final episode of my two-part Harriet Tubman Black History short series. It covers the period of her life from when she decided to escape from slavery on through her death. I would recommend starting with part 1, which covered her early life, and provides some insight into the forces that drove her in life. If you aren't already subscribed to the Noir Histoire YouTube channel, please take a moment to click the subscribe button. Click the notification bell to ensure that you don't miss future episodes. Taking her quest for freedom into her own hands, Harriet Tubman plotted her escape from slavery after her owner died and his wife began selling off the family slaves. Due to her permanent health issues, she was considered an undesirable slave, and would have likely been separated from her family if they were sold off to other plantations. On September 17, 1849, Tubman and two of her brothers, Ben and Henry, fled the Thompson plantation in Poplar Neck in Caroline County, Maryland, for Philadelphia. Unfortunately, her brothers changed their minds, and Tubman turned back to see them safely home before continuing on her 90-mile journey to freedom. Upon arriving in Philadelphia, Tubman felt an immense sense of relief, and the world appeared glorious and bright as though seen through new eyes. To support herself, Tubman found work as a housekeeper and also did odd jobs. But freedom for herself wasn't enough. She couldn't rest easy knowing that her family members were still being held in bondage in Maryland. About a year later, when she learned that her niece was in danger of being sold, along with her two young children, Tubman returned to Maryland to rescue them. Fortunately, her niece's husband was able to successfully bid for his wife at a slave auction in Baltimore, and Tubman helped the family travel safely to Philadelphia. During a return trip to the South, Tubman also attempted to reunite with her husband, but he had remarried and declined to move to the North. Despite this personal setback, Tubman continued to help people, mostly family members, escape to the North. It's often cited that as a conductor on the Underground Railroad, Harriet Tubman escorted approximately 300 people to freedom during 13 excursions into the slave states during the 1850s. But Tubman herself put the figure for people she escorted closer to 50, with most of those people being family members and friends. Though Tubman did also help other people to escape on their own, first to the North and then to Canada after the passage of the 1850 Fugitive Slave Law. William Still helped to finance some of her excursions into slaveholding Maryland, and Tubman supported John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry. Tubman moved with her family and lived for a while in Canada to remain out of reach of the Fugitive Slave Law. Towards the end of the decade, she moved back to America and settled with her parents in a home on some land she was able to purchase in Auburn, New York. Because the Fugitive Slave Law was still in effect, some of her family members were concerned about the move, but the home eventually became a gathering place. When the Civil War began in 1861, Tubman left her family home to assist the Union Army. She began as a cook and nurse, using knowledge of roots, herbs, and natural remedies to care for Union soldiers and slaves. Given her experience moving along the East Coast by stealth, she was later recruited to serve as a scout and built a spire ring in South Carolina. Making her way through Confederate lines, she was able to obtain information about supply routes and troop movements while also evading capture. One of her most notable achievements was her participation in a Union assault along the Combahee River, where over 700 slaves were freed. She was likely the first black woman to serve in the United States military. After the Civil War, Tubman returned to her home in Auburn and married Nelson Davis, a former slave and Union soldier who was 20 years her junior. Together, the two would adopt a little girl named Gertie, and their marriage would last for 20 years, only ending with Davis's death. Harriet Tubman also continued her life of activism, although in less dangerous forms than her earlier work. Tubman would remain financially insecure for the rest of her life, though she managed to survive by selling produce and food items, as well as with the support of friends. In addition to her home, Tubman shared the little that she had with those who were in need. She helped to raise money and provided care and support for the freedmen. Tubman also became involved with the women's suffrage movement and went on speaking tours despite being illiterate. She later deeded a parcel of her land to Auburn's AME Church, on which the Harriet Tubman Home for Aged and Indigent Colored People was established next to her family home. Yet her brain injury continued to cause her pain and other issues, which resulted in her undergoing brain surgery in an attempt to ease the pain. In her early 90s, Tubman became a resident in the rest home that was her namesake. On March 10, 1913, Harriet Tubman passed away from pneumonia. Friends and family were present at the time the 5-foot-tall giant of a woman took her final breath. It had taken Tubman decades to receive recognition and compensation for her service in the Union military, but she was buried with full military honors at Fort Hill Cemetery in Auburn. Thanks for tuning in. Show notes and sources are available on the Noir Histoire website via the link in the episode description. If you enjoyed this episode, please click the thumbs up button. You can also share it online, on social media, or with someone you think might enjoy the episode. Doing this will help other people find the show, which helps it to grow. If you aren't already subscribed to the Noir Histoire YouTube channel, I hope you subscribe now and return to get motivated, get inspired, and get more stories of Black history made and in the making. Until next time, take care.